we always remember it a little bit differently, but I'll tell my version first, I guess. So Daddy and I were in college. It was my last semester of UNCG. He had just moved back home with Gigi and Pops, and was trying to figure out what direction to go, but was taking some classes at the time, and got invited to go to this weekend retreat. It was all InterVarsity students from all different colleges in our region. I think it was Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So it was to Black Mountain for a whole weekend with a bunch of college students, which was really fun. But we had a carpool plan to do meet at the Spirit Rock. So it was a nice little general marker where people could, can leave all their paint things. We didn't have anything there, but we all met in front, and I knew I didn't know anyone but him. So I introduced myself to him, and then he rode up with my roommate, Chelsea. And the whole way there, Chelsea's like, "You've got to meet my roommate. She does all that blood and guts. She's in nursing school." And I don't even know what made her say that, but I guess because you were.
Well, I was EMT at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were.
She thought we should meet.
She was like a 0 blood tolerance type friend. She was like, "You've got to warn me if you're gonna talk about blood at a friend." So, and then that was our story of meeting. But then for you, it was more the memory of the next morning.
Well, that was the first time we really talked.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were pretty. So the next morning I saw you at the dirty dish line at the cafeteria. So I thought that was
and I was like, "Hey, Rob, how are you?" And he's like, "Oh, she remembered my name."
So that's how we met.
Yeah. Well, at the time, I mean, I would say I loved his whole mountain vibe because he had lived in Boone, and of course he was always very friendly when he would talk to you, and was also funny, as you guys know. Sometimes you guys get the dad in jokes of that, but yes, just all the good qualities. And in fact, this is a really, like, for me, it was like, this was like a little God sign further down the road. But that weekend was about relationships, because, when you're in college, you're looking for that next stage in life, or at least you're starting to think about it. Not everybody, but they split all of us up in different boys and girls' thoughts. And my group was doing, what qualities are you looking for in a mate? And it was the day that I had met him that we're talking about, what do you care about in a husband? And then they were like, if you want to, you can draw like a stick figure and then put your qualities and your traits next to it. And I mean, sure enough, it was I did pretty good. I'm thinking, just not
dancing. Not a dancer. And I don't cook.
But he still does not.
She missed out on those two qualities.
Yeah,
so I guess what attracted me to Maggie first was probably first her smile. She just has a beautiful mouth and just a
big
beautiful,
old teeth.
Lots of teeth. Yes, just a perfect smile, and pretty hair and pretty eyes. So I told myself at first, I said, "There's no way this girl doesn't have a boyfriend already." But then so I did some research. I did some spying and asking around, and found out she didn't have a boyfriend. So
yeah,
that's how that started. Maggie was single.
He put a date on hold,
and then
after spring break.
Well, no, we went out
before spring
break.
We made sure we went on a date before.
Exactly, because I said I want to make sure I wanted her to have the time off during spring break to think about me, right? You know, you got to plant that seed and let it grow a little bit. So, but
listen, I had a boyfriend in high school that did that, but it was before the week of summer camp, and I'm like, really? You're gonna ask me on a date for after we go to the same camp for a whole week? And I'm like, yeah, oh, okay.
She gives me a hard time because I guess when I called her up and she answered the phone, I was like, "Hey Maggie, this is Rob Peterson from InterVarsity Christian Fellowship." I was trying.
UNCG.
I figured I didn't know she would know who was this guy was that was calling her. So I was trying to give her a brief resume about who I was. She knew who I was. And she was just like, "Oh gosh,
why is he giving me this like 5 title,
I was just trying to jog your memory of who I was."
So I sort of cut you off and said, "Hey, Rob."
Yes, she was done with the introduction. She was ready to get to the.
Yeah, and I'll just. Well, you didn't finish the first date, so go ahead.
Well, no, it's just on the first date. I guess we ended up going. We went to dinner at Spring Garden Brewery, which is now Red Oak Brewery. It wasn't famous back then, but we had a great meal. And the whole time I was trying to make her laugh, but I wasn't doing a very good job because I don't think she really got my sense.
My story, my recollection was that I didn't know that Daddy was joking. So I didn't want to hurt his feelings by what if I laughed at him and it wasn't a joke? And then this guy would think I was like, not very nice, or wasn't going to let him ask me out again. But once I realized you were joking, I would laugh at your jokes.
Yes.
But no, I'm not going to laugh at every one of them. And I still don't laugh at every one of them.
No, definitely not.
That's
definitely.
okay.
That is okay. So, and then we went bowling, and I'm a terrible bowler, but
it was cute. You were bad, but
yeah, I was pretty bad.
I thought I'm going to tell this guy, you'll win against me because I'm terrible, and I
think you beat me.
Oh yeah. So and then and
that helped you with the homework assignment.
Yep, I had a homework assignment.
So she was doing a poster for something with nursing school, right?
Yep, I had a class assignment because I was going to be hosting a weekly group meeting, and these people don't have much on their social calendar. So even like me hosting a group meeting was something for them to look forward to, And he helped me do the paper, which was fun, or the poster. But yeah, they have good stories. Well, that story is kind of embarrassing.
Well, maybe I'll start. As far as our first kiss, I think after we'd gone out for a few times, 3 or 4 dates.
3 dates, yeah.
And then I asked you if you wanted to go steady, be my girlfriend, and she said yes.
It was very so cute, yeah.
But we hadn't kissed yet, so then I asked you if I could kiss you, and you were like, no.
No, I'm too nervous. If you had just done it, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But
so because I opened my big mouth and asked instead of just kissing her, she's turned me down for the first kiss.
It's just so cheesy, and I felt bad after he left because I was like, where did that come from? But I had a strategy. So he had left something at my apartment, and I played this little song called "Kiss Me." Who sang that song? Who was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, cute little song on the radio. It was just on the radio. This will age me. With a blank tape, I had to put in the radio and hit record. And then I had a little card, kind of explaining like where my head was at that night or whatever, and the rest is history.
Yes.
it was a little over 2.5 years. I guess we started February of 1999 until
We got
we got
married
engaged
in 02.
in 01, right after, it was pretty shortly after 9/11.
Right.
It was like November 1st or November 10th. And then then August 11th was the actual day in
Yes.
2002. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've looked through pictures and things like that. There's not really, the only thing we've got to get converted that we've already sent off this recently is the video, because we did not hire like a videographer or anything. I think I literally asked a friend to like set a camera up at the back of the church, and you can't hear anything, of course. But and then mostly the videos I got were of like rehearsal dinner and the reception, so you can see who's there. Actually, I think Aunt Diana took the videos, because that's definitely her handwriting.
So
And she was sad that we didn't have a videographer. I'm like, I gotta pay for part of this wedding. I'm not paying for that.
Yes,
So.
Mom's always been very good with money.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm just cheap.
I was trying to say it nicer. But yeah, our rehearsal dinner was at Cafe Luna, which is very nice. Pretty good.
Still open today.
And
That's good sign.
we had the slideshow of pictures there were pictures of you when you were a little girl, and then pictures of me when I was a little boy, and then pictures of us together dating.
Yeah.
So that was neat to watch
And
those.
the first time Daddy ever tried a steak was at the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, I think
And he
so.
loved it.
Yeah,
So
'cause I was a vegetarian before we got married. So Mom converted me. So
I've been bugging him for years, like, we gotta eat some steak. And then I'm hearing like whispers down the table. Was that a Rob's plate?
So we got married at Providence Church, which was the church where you were going in Raleigh, and that I would
high school.
go to just on the weekends when I'd come visit. And that's where we did our premarital counseling. So that was nice, and had a lovely ceremony there. And then we took a ride in a vintage car, an old car.
And that was a surprise.
Yeah, you didn't know.
I didn't
set
know.
that up.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We were chauffeuring this old car from there over to the rehearsal dinner. Not rehearsal dinner, excuse me, the reception.
And that was at the 111 place, which was basically a big real estate event company. That they can hold events there and do real estate. I think it's Raleigh Real Estate Agency, something like that. But anyways, we had all the appetizers, and we even had, I think our caterer did like a iced fruit basket or something like that. What else?
It was it was really nice with the DJ and everything.
Yeah. And then
stuff.
Yeah, we had had to do some obligatory dances, and that was so. And my bridesmaids were Miss Jen and Miss Stacy, Anna, Kendall, Miss Elizabeth. I'm trying to think. I don't want to duplicate any.
They all look pretty. You had them dressed. I think it was black top and like
a sleeveless black tank top,
like a coral skirt,
like a coral fitted pencil skirt.
So it was cool.
Yeah, and then my friend Kelly did the flowers, and my aunt and uncle paid for the DJ because it was their friend who DJs, I think, does a job in Eastern North Carolina. Well, of course, you can tell in the pictures who was there and that kind of thing. But we had Dave Owen was our pastor for the ceremony, and then my friend Adam, Kendall's husband, he was doing music with Holly. I don't know if you guys remember Holly, but Paul and Holly. She helped with singing, and what else? Holly's husband read scripture. Yeah, I think it's about all the people that were in the wedding. But it was really a really fun day, and it was hot though, so I had to put my hair up.
Yeah, at least it wasn't raining.
That's true.
So that was good.
Yeah, it was a fun day.
Absolutely.
Jamaica.
But not at first.
Oh yeah, so we did go to Ocean Isle for like 3 nights. Well, no, first night we went to Biltmore Hotel
In Greensboro. And we ate.
Really good.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name.
Hazel's?
And it's closed down.
Oh, that's
since.
too bad.
But yeah, I just remember Dean Smith, Coach Dean Smith was eating dinner there. Not that we're Carolina fans, but there was a big buzz in the restaurant because he was eating dinner in there that night, the same night. So
yeah.
But then we went down to Ocean Isle for I think a couple days and went to the beach.
Yep.
And hung out there at our family's place and
just kind of extend, because we could not do a long trip to Jamaica because we weren't even thinking about saving for that, So I think we did like 5 or 6 nights there, which it was really fun, and we did sandals, so you could hop around to different places. And I think they've seen pictures from that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Montego Bay.
Yeah. Montego
down there
Bay.
in Jamaica.
I'm sure they've seen them on the slideshow on the TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was nice.
We were 24 and 27. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah. When we got married.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did scuba diving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was fun.
They would teach you when you got there, which is
We did a scuba class.
a little scary from my friends who are sitting here that actually took a scuba diving class or more. And but yeah, they took us out in the middle of nowhere, and there were no fish, not one. The only thing we saw was a sea cucumber, and it was kind of looked like a brown speckly goo ball. I mean, it was just really bizarre.
But you thought you saw something for a moment when you were. Do you remember this?
For the longest time I thought I'd seen a shark.
When we were under the water.
Because there was nothing down there. There was no vegetation. There was no fish. There was nothing down there. And so somebody's tank was just caught my eye just right, like the periphery of my eyes. And yeah, I was like, but it wasn't.
She likes to give me a hard time because I used up my air a lot quicker than she does. So
yeah,
her theory was that I was just that much more nervous, and so
Yes.
I was breathing a lot.
Yes.
That I made us have to come up early. So
He did, like the whole team. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
what, Summit West Apartments?
Summit Westwood. Yeah, so like corner of Chapel Hill Road and
Cary Parkway? No, not Cary
Weston Parkway.
Yes, West. You're right.
And that was, we moved in there in August, and then I had already been at Rex Labor and Delivery, and had met Miss Jen, who is now, I always called her Mako because I knew too many Jens.
Right.
So she became Jen Mako. Now she's Turner, but yeah, she and I figured out that we lived in the same apartment complex, and luckily just a couple buildings away, so we could carpool to work and all that, which was really fun. I wish it lasted longer than a month that a year that we were there, but
I think so Jamie and Stacy Brueggemann ended up moving into that same apartment complex too. So.
Never saw that.
We did.
Not enough.
I know. We get together. We'd watch Survivor.
Yeah, that's true.
At each other's apartment.
That's true.
So
we did have a
Survivor was real big show.
Date night, real cheap date night. Stay in, watch. Yeah, we did do that.
So that was good. But we were only there for a year, and then we bought our first house over on Muses Court in Cary. So.
And I drove them by there again like several months ago, and they were like, yeah, this is a nice neighborhood. And Lee was like, but I like our house we're in now better.
Well, of course, that was our starter house. Yeah. So, but it was good. Mommy found it. We looked at several houses over and over, and then I guess you found it on the MLS yourself, I think. So
yeah,
we went and looked at it, and
that
was the winner. So.
Yeah.
Favorite song? I'm not going to know the title. I mean, I know lately, the past few years, she's really into Adele. So I would say favorite song of all time. I'm not too sure. I would say recent song. It's probably an Adele song, but I'm not going to know the title of this. But if I were going to take her to a concert, front row, bucket list type thing, I'd probably get her tickets to Adele. I think that would be who she would pick.
Favorite song is like just in the moment. I really do like the new Adele song. Yeah.
But you don't know the title
Easy
either.
Easy on me. I know it.
Okay.
But I mean, some people would rather hear a cat scratch their claws on a chalkboard, but that's my favorite song today.
Gosh. See, we're opposite. I order the same thing at the same restaurant every time, but she always gets something different. I don't know, maybe like some sort of pasta dish, something like that would be her favorite.
I like pasta, but I don't know why you say that.
I don't know.
My favorite meal is when we go for our anniversary to Ruth's Chris, and I get a chopped Ruth's salad, a filet mignon, cooked medium, and a sweet potato casserole.
Okay, so that's your favorite meal. All right,
yeah.
Gotcha. I thought you only like going because I like going.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Okay, that's good.
It's the money, I'm always like, but.
I mean, in general, the Bible, but
listen, you're not going to be able to guess.
No,
because I don't even know what my favorite book is.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to guess.
I'm not much of a reader. Well, I think I just try to even us out, because he's not like a shopper, but it's just like all of a sudden it'll be like, I gotta have this, and it's like,
I gotta have this.
Yeah, and I really, really realized it when we went to Florida. I was like, I really am a cheapskate. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
I mean, I feel like sometimes when you're on vacation, you got to spend a little more to have a certain experience.
And we were supposed to go to Mexico to an all-inclusive where you don't have to worry about that stuff. You don't even have to get your wallet out. You just show up, and it's like all done for you. Well, then we switched plans to Florida, and it was a lot more like I didn't really do a whole lot of planning because we didn't have a whole lot of notice when we just changed our mind. And every time we had to pay for a meal, I was just.
But I did work
I
like
was like
4 overtime shifts
yes,
to help
yes, I know.
pay all that back. So we
But,
covered it.
Yeah, it was just made me realize that
Maggie likes the deal. She loves the bargain. She loves the deal.
Loves that too.
She loves to hunt the deal down. And I'm more of a, okay, it costs what it costs kind of guy. So. Oh, favorite movie. Again, not sure the title. I would say probably some sort of Audrey Hepburn film would probably be a favorite. I know lately she's into like the British drama shows, Downton Abbey and similar stuff, but those aren't really movies. I guess they
Per
made
se.
a movie, but anyways, those would be my answers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think last time I went to the movies or what. I mean, I was, as far as favorite movie of like all time, oh, I mean, everything, you know, you can find a good song and Sound of Music, you can find a good scene, and it just brings me back to my childhood. The Sound of Music. I'm not saying it's like, you know, couldn't be redone and made better, but it's always been something I enjoy watching or listening to.
For the record, I hate remakes of movies. I think the classics should be.
Yeah, and we
stay the
did go
classics.
to see them on a little side, you know, Broadway thing, and it was not as good.
Who was this? You and who?
Didn't we go to Sound of Music? Or was that me and Jen Joyner?
Oh, we did in Greensboro.
Or was it good or bad?
No, it was good.
Okay. Oh, no, it was Chicago that was bad.
I didn't go to that.
Oh, that was bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. I dragged you there.
Okay.
And you're like, this is horrible. But no, the Sound of Music in Greensboro, it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Paris.
Apparently. I did not know this until September of last year that it was my new favorite European city because I got, well, long story short, but I had to go by myself, as you know, and got to spend like my last few days with Jen and Ryan and Casey, living it up in Paris.
Definitely a bucket list trip.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not ride a scooter?
Where?
In Paris.
What kind of scooter? The electric one? Yes, the kids know all about it. They've heard the electric scooter story about when I was wearing my wig and my nice flip hat and it flew off because I might have not had any brakes on.
You're in fun
And Miss Casey caught the hat or got the hat and I just decided to cram everything back on really tight so it wouldn't fall off again. But oh man, I'm glad I did that. That was so fun.
For the record, who told you to get on the scooter? And who told you not to get on the scooter?
Yeah, Ryan just waited till we had one more glass of wine to bug us again about going on the scooters. And then one more glass. And then he's like, all right, well, it's time to decide. And we were all like, okay. It was fun. Proverbs 3:4-5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. And I picked that in like 7th grade randomly. And they gave us bookmarks with the verse on it. So I was actually able to memorize it because it was a bookmark that I could, just easily pull in and out. I wasn't having to like look it up, which was nice at that age because we didn't have our little digital Bibles, which it is weird to think about how much it's changed to like look up verses and memorize verses or look at things because it's all digitalized now. You don't even have to carry stuff around. You can just have it right on your phone, which is really good. I think y'all have seen some childhood pictures, but maybe we'll look at some more in the near future. But I would say I was a happy kid. I was a typical firstborn child personality versus like only child personality. I think I just grew up fast, but grandmother Margaret was sick and my dad had to work and I didn't have any other siblings, and so you just learn more quicker, but then part of me thought it really shouldn't be considered quick. It's what people are just not doing these days that we should have always been doing. So some things that mommy and daddy need to work on for sure, like teaching them more about finances and personal things like that. But I was, I just loved to hang out with my friends. I loved the beach. Very early on, I loved fashion and, Mom, can we go here and shop and all that I loved. And then even my part-time jobs as I got older were clothing based. And I hate that I went into the food industry because it's just dirty and not as fun, but I worked at the Gap, I think junior or senior year, and then I worked at the YMCA with the kids after school program. But the reason I did that is because I could meet like my best friend Jen Joyner from high school, and then I could meet up with Joey, another good friend of mine from Providence Church, and they would we'd see each other like 3 days a week because we would work together, which is fun. And then where else did I work? I worked at J. Crew at the mall. And
then you're skipping over Chick-fil-A.
I'll get to Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
And then I was gonna say Chick-fil-A was like my first food job, and I was the Saturday morning biscuit girl. So I'd show up, the older person with me that was usually college age or young adult was already there, like biscuits about to fry, about to cook, chicken about to fry, and I'd be there just in time to put everything together and wrap it up and make the French fries and the hash browns, whatever, and have some regular customers, which was fun. Kind of some of what I already mentioned, but I did do I took piano lessons. I loved to swim. I did swim team every year until I did year-round swim team, and then I realized that was more of a commitment that than what I wanted to take at that age. It was a lot of commitment. But then when I got in high school, I really enjoyed doing like service work with like retirement homes, and I was in a women's service club. I was really involved with FCA at my school. So like as I moved up each grade, like I would do different things within leadership, and I really enjoyed doing student council and all those kind of service type extracurriculars. And of course, I was involved with my church youth group at Providence, and still love to go to the beach. Loved, going out to eat. I was a very busy social kid for an only child. Well, Amelia keeps bringing up that, we talk about all the cats that I had since childhood, and how we learned that orange cats are really, really sweet, and that's how we ended up with Ollie. And then because our back door neighbors have 2 orange cats, and they just have completely different personality. And we also talked about how my grandmother Margaret accidentally ran over Socks, who looked like Stewie. She was literally going like this fast in the driveway,
And he didn't.
and
move.
he just wouldn't move. It was like a suicide or something. I don't know what was going on. Nonetheless,
Poor
that was a
Socks.
very sad day with Socks.
Yes.
And then Dusty got hit by a car, and the people actually put him at our doorstep. And then,
Did you have any cats that lived? Is what I want to know.
no, the longest living cat that we had was Stewie, and that
Yes.
was one that we got before you guys were born. And we just lost him this past week.
18 years though.
So
That was a good run.
18 years.
Pretty good for a cat.
Yeah, and he was like our little baby, and then we would try to like make people understand why he was our baby, because they were like, he's not very nice, he's trying to scratch me, or this or that. And so we're like, okay, maybe he's our baby but nobody else's. So but then we got Ollie, and they have, that way they at least had each other while we were here by themselves. But I know Amelia will always be a huge animal lover, and whether you just own a bunch of them or just go pet a bunch of them or work with them, I don't know, but I know your life will involve animals. And then Lee, you're very wishy-washy, so I don't know what you'll ever do about animals, about that, but we're pretty basic North Carolina people that like to go to the beach for a week. But as we've
been to Disney twice.
Yeah, but as we've, had you guys growing up, we wanted you to be able to, go to a couple of fun spots. And so yeah, we've done Disney a couple of times with y'all, and a few weekend trips that were really fun. And of course, we love going to Lake Gaston. So yeah.
Mommy, once we were married for about 4 years before
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 before we wanted to have kids, and Mommy got pregnant briefly, and we ended up losing that pregnancy.
Yeah.
But then we were able to get pregnant pretty quickly with Lee,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So-
And the day we were going for your ultrasound, Lee, we decided to do a Cinco de Mayo party because it was on Cinco de Mayo. So we were like, well, let's just kind of do a thing with it, because I just happen to have your ultrasound on this day, and it's also Cinco de Mayo. Let's just do like a baby reveal. Tell everybody whether it's a boy or a girl, and then have some, margaritas and tacos. And it was I don't know why you're making that face. It was a fun night. I tortured the people with who won, but we made them guess not only whether it was you were going to be a boy or a girl, but what your weight was going to be and what your name was going to be. And we did have one. I think Jimbo
Did he?
Compton is the one who knew all three.
Yeah.
Because he knew Rob's full name, and got lucky on the weight. But what was the third?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. But just to say, this is what embarrassed me to death at the ultrasound was we walking in the room and the lady's getting ready to put me up there and do the gel on my stomach, and we're looking up and what did you say to her?
I was joking, but I just said, I just asked the doctor, because we were going to find out whether it was a boy or girl. And then after she told us that we were having a boy, I asked her if she could tell who the father was. I was just joking, because I knew that I was the father, but...
And then she looked at me.
She didn't know I was joking. So.
Yeah, that's not something you can really determine, like, at the time of ultrasound.
Daddy was just trying to be silly, so it embarrassed Mom.
That was pretty funny.
The thing I think of with Lee that I remember just, we could tell Lee was very smart early on. He was very, he loved to organize stuff, which was funny. And he was obsessed with little toy cars, just Matchbox cars, any kind, Hot Wheels, the Cars movie cars, any of those. And
started to collect them very early.
Yeah, but he was into it. I mean, even before he could really talk, by the time he could stand, he loved playing with little cars, and he would put them on like an ottoman or something that he could reach, and he would line them up into rows. And it always impressed me. He always was able to line the cars up in the correct direction. I never really knew how you knew. I mean, at that age, what was the front and what was the back? Yeah. But you always knew, and you'd line them up perfectly. Even before you could really make complete sentences, you could organize stuff. So I just remember you loved to do that. So.
And I mean, you were always a good sleeper. I mean, even day one coming home from the hospital, you slept through the night. And of course, this was when we were still trying to sort out like your feeding and all that. We had switched you by that time, or by probably a couple weeks out, we switched you off of breastfeeding and just went straight to formula. But I was also supplementing, which means basically I was giving you extra milk, but we would do the formula first because he was just starving all the time. He could not gain weight, and we were like, I mean, I gotta go back to work anyways. I'm probably not gonna do it very, very long, so let's just give it what we've got. And but you were just a happy, happy baby, and cute little button nose, and little, we called you your little square head, little flat head on the back.
Well, because I guess they both did, but you slept in a little sleep sack. That was the thing.
Yes.
To, I guess, keep kids from rolling over or moving in the bed in the crib. So,
but they could still have a blanket.
It was like a little sleeping bag, and we'd zip you into that every night. So you look like a little bean sack in there. So that was cute. Until one day, I think I was home watching you, and I'd put you down from a nap, and I came upstairs to get you, and when I opened the door, you had you had gotten out of your sleep sack and you had climbed onto the top of the rail of the crib, and you were climbing, in the act of climbing over, and I opened the door and I think I surprised you. You like looked up to me and let go and fell onto the floor. But you weren't upset about it. I think I just startled you more than anything. And I was like, what are you doing? And we realized at that point you weren't going to be in the crib much longer.
Yeah.
So,
No.
not after that escape.
Oh, well, you should know that he's fourth. So, Robert Edward Lee Peterson the fourth, named after his dad and named after Pops. His Pops was named after his father, who they called Pete, and then Pete was named after, or named in honor of,
General Robert E. Lee.
General Robert E. Lee, because one of, was it his grandfather?
Yeah, his great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Served under General Lee. In the
Yeah.
Confederacy.
Yep, served under him. And so, but for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why someone would name someone after someone else that wasn't related. But then when I found out that they actually served together and there was more of a relation, then like, yeah, that's that guy. That guy, he's a good general. Let's just name him after him. But it felt so much more connected once Rob explained that they actually worked together, they served together, they, did a lot of their adult life doing that kind of thing. So then it made more sense.
Yeah.
Why it was in honor of him.
Well, and we, Pops is Bob and I'm Rob, so we didn't want something that rhymed with that, so we went with the middle name Lee. So.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, just all the things that, all the things we've been to show like how many things that he's worked on his own and has earned, or the life experiences he's enjoyed, and getting to see him or getting to see you, go to camp where I grew up, or of course when you joined Cub Scouts and have climbed the ladder, for all these years, and you're like one star or one level away from Eagle Scout, which is really, really impressive, and works really hard on school. And but we've also had really fun memories, watching him swim and watching him play all different kinds of sports. Even though it's not your thing and it's not something you'll probably do long term, it's just been so fun to go to your games and support you at whatever you wanted to do. Even at your band concert this year, we loved seeing you play percussion. And
now you and Lee, you guys, like when Amelia and I would be out of town, you and Lee would usually do like a mommy-son date night or something like that.
Yeah, we've done a few of those. And
where would y'all go to eat normally?
I usually let him pick. I know the night that he picked Ruckus, which is just a little pizza and pasta place. I was like, sure, we never go there, but yeah, it's got good pizza. He, a few days before, he asked me, Mom, do we get a 2-person table? Like people that go on dates? And I was like, absolutely, we can have a 2-person table. So I just know having those kind of conversations with you was always fun, and all the birthdays that you and I like to plan.
Yeah, Mommy always did a great job throwing you special birthday parties. That was always something. Mommy was great at doing theme parties and stuff. So,
but now you're too old for that, anyways.
Well, they still like the parties. So, yeah.
You never know what's gonna maybe make you shed a tear. That's okay.
You're doing great.
But yeah, I mean, watching you ski, keep looking at that skiing picture here at the house, and you know, just that you're a loyal friend, and so many people consider you a friend, which at this age is actually really hard to do. And you've done a great job. Just, yeah, you've been a great son.
And great brother too.
Yeah.
So fight with Amelia a little more than we like, but when she needs something, you're always there for her.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when I would drive him to, I think to Miss Jana's house for babysitting on the weekend when I worked, and when we were both doing 12-hour shifts, Lee, you would come out of the neighborhood looking and looking and looking. Where are the trucks? No, it wasn't trucks. It was where are the tucks? Tucks. And sometimes it turned into a bad word, but it was always cute.
Something that
funny.
rhymes with
And
truck.
yeah.
So I think it's, you know, I think like with most couples, we kind of knew we wanted 2 kids. I think most couples who are just going to have 2 kids, and you know, when you find out you're pregnant with your second kid, if your first child was a boy, I think you kind of selfishly hope that
Yeah.
the second one's going to be a girl, right? So
Of
you can have
course.
one of each. So obviously we would have been happy if you were a little boy, but we were very excited
Yeah.
when we found out that we were having a little girl. So
Yeah.
because we did want, if we could choose, that's what we wanted, one of each, right?
And I think it was my pregnancy with you, Amelia, where I knew really, really early on, because previously when I had gotten pregnant and then had a miscarriage, I do recall having some strange swelling in my ankles or feet. And it didn't even look like it normally would, but we were at celebrating my aunt's 70th birthday, and we were out of town, so I thought, oh, it's probably just from travel or whatever. Well, and it was like maybe, I mean, I was maybe 2 weeks pregnant. I mean, it was like really early, because then that would show up at like what we call 5 weeks, right? Oh no, that would have been like immediately, like the next weekend. But anyways, you at least follow the same pattern, and then by the 3rd time around, I had the swelling at whatever the number of weeks was, maybe 5 weeks, and I was like,
You knew you were pregnant.
I know it. I don't even have to wait for a test to come back. So that was kind of cool to like know my little secret that I was, you know, gonna have you. And of course we didn't know it was gonna be a girl until, you know, until we went a couple months later. But of course I was very excited to be having a little girl. So, yeah.
Yeah. Especially all new clothes, all new girls shopping for little girl clothes.
Yes, yes.
So Mom was very excited about getting to do that.
Oh gosh, I had a bunch of names written down that I liked. I think I've even shared them with Amelia. But I just wanted something feminine, because Margaret was going to be her middle name, named after, in honor of your grandmother, Margaret. And I wanted it to be more feminine. So I thought Amelia Margaret kind of makes it more, a little bit softer sounding. And there was a couple nicknames we could use if we wanted to, available, versus a name where there's not really like a nickname. And then
It wasn't super popular at the
No.
time, but now, I guess
Yeah.
for 2021, I think it was a top 5.
Yeah,
girls
apparently I
name.
made it popular.
So you're on trend.
Yeah,
now,
I'm on
so.
trend. Just spunk,
Yes, that's
And-
sass.
sass, and just total cuteness. I will not deny she is a daddy's girl. But he's also like a complete sucker when it comes to her, as far as like, you know,
Your mom
giving in. And,
claims that I can't tell you no. So.
yeah, well, I'm not the only one that claims it. So, and not that we, you know, but it's just funny how different kids bond differently with their parents. But she definitely knows how to get some ice cream out of daddy. So
One funny thing about Amelia was she didn't have a whole lot of hair when she the first year or so, but her nanny Gabby was just hell bent on being able to put a little bow or a little bow in her hair. So
I mean, she could take 2 pieces of hair
just a little
and put a bow in
sprig.
that head.
So Amelia's been wearing a little bow in her hair pretty much from the very beginning. So
She doesn't really wear them anymore.
right, but
Okay.
you were also obsessed with ice cubes when you were little. I mean, you loved just stealing daddy's ice out of the cooler.
The
So
beach, yeah.
we have several pictures of you just running around with just handfuls of ice. I don't know how you didn't get frostbite on your hands, but you'd run around with ice cubes and like suck on them or do whatever. You just were obsessed with ice cubes, which was kind of cute at the time. So, and you were a big passy girl too. You'd run around. We've got pictures. You'd passy in the mouth, little bow in the hair, and 2 fistfuls of ice cubes. So, those are
Yeah.
what I remember.
Yeah. And lots of dresses. You always let mommy dress you in dresses. I'd say you were first interested in dance at like age 2, and we explored the little gym where they do, you know, fitness and dance and a few other things. But you really liked the dance, so I thought, oh, I'll check into a studio for her to try out. And so she did that for like half a year, the first year, and then the next year I did more classes, but I still didn't register her till halfway through the year. I just was like, oh, this is a lot to handle. Let's just ease into it. And it worked out well because now she's just loves doing the dance. We were down at the beach at Ocean Isle with Gigi and Pops and Daddy and Lee, and saw this girl doing stunts on the beach that looked very like professional, and like she was filming, you know, photographs and selfies to, you know, for some reason. And so Amelia's like, I think she's a contortionist. And I was like, okay, well, why would someone from around here be here? We had no idea. So I said, if you want to, we'll go up and talk to her and ask her, you know, how does she know how to do all that? And it wasn't during a busy time of the day. It was like everybody had gone, you know, it was like 6 p.m. when
Well, we
the sun
told
was still out.
you should go over and introduce yourself and say that you were a dancer, but you're a little shy for these meeting new people, so you made mommy go with you.
Yeah, that was cute. And then she worked with you every day for, gosh, 20 minutes on the beach on doing certain stunts and things. And then, you know, told you what to do to stretch. And you have ever since then said you wanted to be a contortionist.
Now, she worked for what show in
Oh
Vegas?
yeah, so she was and she's back on now, but she was one of the contortionists for Cirque du Soleil show. So that was pretty cool because she was
The real deal.
the real deal contortionist, and very sweet, and gave us her, I guess her private professional account for Instagram, and that way we could go back and watch her, and it's really cool. Be a good reason to do a family trip to Vegas, just to go see her. So. Used to say.
It would be funny. Amelia used to answer. She just, instead of saying yes, she go. To
Oh yeah,
everything.
she would. She totally would.
Amelia, did you finish? Did you brush your teeth? Which was probably a lie.
It
but-
was, yeah, first of all, totally not true. And second of all, like, where did that come from? I mean, she was so funny. Or she would go, what else would she do? Oh, well, yeah. You definitely learned how to lie very early on because we were looking at that video the other night from when she was like 1 or 2 at the creamery in Calabash, and she's eating her little ice cream in a cone and has a cute little outfit on, and you're enjoying it, and then I start videotaping you, and I'm like, do you need a diaper change? No. And then she keeps eating. Amelia, I feel like you may have gone in your diaper and we need to go do a diaper change. Are you sure? And yeah, nope.
Just bold-faced lie.
Yeah. And then, involved the other family members and asking her the same thing. And all the way through,
She stuck.
I said, I'll give you one final chance to tell the truth.
Did you do a stinky?
Did you do a stinky?
No.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Lee, on the other hand, Lee couldn't tell a lie when he was little, but Amelia could just look at you and.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
She had no problem.
We used to call you Honest Abe. Lee. We used to call Lee Honest Abe because of that. He's pretty much outgrown that, but
yeah,
I can tell a little bit when he's lying, but not as much as back then. He just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of things to consider. Whether you're ready to go to college, I mean, obviously, we would love for them to do that and have that experience and get that education that's, fitting for what you want to do in life. But I think, I think they'll have some things to narrow down. I know I personally would want them to stay in state unless they could get a scholarship somewhere else, but I don't think there's any reason to spend an exorbitant amount of money on college. So you can, if you wanted to, do associates at Wake Tech, find a trade school to start with, because a lot of kids, I think the problem is they don't know what they want to do, and it's just too big of a question because it's like, well, do I really want to do that the rest of my life? And you're going to school to do something that's very much, ingrained in. So I don't know what you guys will choose. I know Lee envisions himself going to college. I know Amelia does sometimes, and other times I think she, would rather, teach dance or choreograph dance or something like that. But you can go to college for dance. So I think you just have to find what you're passionate for first and kind of go from there. And like the reason I love nursing so much now that I'm older, my reasons are totally different, but the flexibility of not having to go back to school to become a nurse, I could just do different types of nursing. And then I've had 5 or 6 jobs over 22 years that I love what I'm doing because I can get a different job without having to change my degree or, So it ended up being kind of a broad training, which was good. So just some things we wanted to talk about with you entering your even when you become into adulthood at 18, things to think about and things to plan for. I think we're already on a good path, even though you guys are only 13 and 10, but just learning those life skills, making smart decisions about schooling or about training that you may need, but also setting goals and working towards them instead of just not having a plan. And I think I think you can do that several ways. I think you can talk to us anytime about it. You can pray about it. You can go to your school counselor. But it's also not the most important thing in life. So I think you have to also make sure that you're prioritizing your relationships, like your friendships and your family members, because sometimes we get too caught up in one thing, like planning your life career, your college career, that you kind of miss the whole point of that. I know I had one friend that was saying, yeah, I don't know why I chose this particular career because it didn't end up fitting me as a mom, or it didn't end up fitting me, with something. And they do something totally different now. So I can understand that. So now we're getting into a little bit of relationship advice, which I know you're very young for. So please talk to adults for the next, 10, 15 years that you need that kind of advice. But when you're in a relationship and you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, some of those questions you have to ask yourself are going to become serious, and it's not going to always be about, having fun or, we'd like to do all the same things, and which are all actually very important. But I would say most importantly that you're friends first, that they're your best friend. Because I know we've always, tried to make a point to say, hey, you're my best friend, even 20 years later. So I think that's important, that there are things that maybe are not deal breakers on the outside, but like if you know enough about them, those things are gonna kind of come to light once you get married. And so there's issues you need to talk about, like you need to talk about, what you believe and where you stand with your politics, and is anything like that going to cause a problem, or especially I think it's super important to be compatible with someone spiritually. Mommy and daddy, it's always been so important to us to have God in our lives and in our relationship, and also just with you guys. And so definitely continuing to keep that first. I feel like the closer you get to God, or the closer you get to each other, the closer you get to God. And, with the past few years, it's been huge for me, counting on my faith, because if somebody's not available to talk to, or I'm busy going somewhere else, or I'm working, or I can't just talk to another person, I can always talk to God, which is really good, that he's available 24/7. So definitely keeping him a priority. And what else? I think also you have to talk about money. You have to, I mean, it's really important to be on the same page as far as how you pay your bills and, you know, how you manage to save and things like that. And everybody does it really different, but there's definitely some basics that we're going to try and teach you over the next, you know, 10 years that you're coming into adulthood. Also, I think just, you know, making wise decisions when it comes to friendships. If you have a friendship with someone and it's becoming really, you know, negative and it's not really providing any benefits to you as a person, it's just making you maybe make worse decisions or not be as nice to someone else, or you know, it may make you want to like be in a mean girls club or be in, you know, the jerk club or whatever you want to call it. Because it makes me sad to see, you know, friendships ruin other people's ability to make good friendships. And I think if you're the one that's being the good one in the relationship, great. But then if you're not, you've got to decide whether you got to cut that person or just spend less time with that person. And then for, you know, ones that are a good influence on you, those are the kind of people you want to look for. Because I feel like it was definitely helpful in us learning as growing up and learning as kids to have the right friends in our lives. What else? Well, I'll let Daddy say a couple things.
No, I think you're right. As far as sometimes opposites do attract, but sometimes there can be some differences that aren't compatible. So it's good to talk about, you know, things, religion and kids and politics before when you start getting serious to know whether you're compatible. But there's certain differences. You know, when it comes to money, someone's always going to be a better saver and someone's always going to be more of a spender, and that's okay as long as you talk about it and get on the same page ahead of time, so that it's not a contentious thing, but you make decisions together. I think that's the key thing in a marriage, that those are, you know, it's not your money and my money, it's our money. And we're making those kind of decisions together as a team. And sometimes Maggie wins and sometimes I win. And, but I think that's the biggest benefit to marriage, is that collaboration and teamwork. And Maggie's definitely changed my mind on several things. When I had made up my mind about something and I thought this was the way it was going to go, or this is what I wanted to do, and she's taught me out of things, and it's almost always been good advice. It's the old adage, two heads are better than one. So
yeah. And one thing my dad always said, Papa, he always, you know, when we would talk about relationships and things, he would say, when it comes to deciding about marriage, he said that love is a decision, which I was like, okay, well, that's taking the romantic right out of that. But what he meant by that was, you know, okay, you find the person that you want to be with the rest of your life. There's many things to think about, but also knowing that if you love someone, you've made the decision to love them. So there's days you're not going to feel like loving someone, and there's days that you're going to have to kind of pull your bootstraps up and say, you know, this is a decision that I made when I chose to get married and take my vows. And so if you kind of keep it in perspective, that it's not all about, oh, I just feel so, so just in love and butterflies and it's all romance and all that. It's not all about that. And I think it's real easy to let that get in the way on the hard days. So
I think sometimes you gotta just step away from each other, because you are gonna fight with your spouse, and sometimes you need 15, 20 minutes. You gotta just walk away and
Yeah.
cool down and come back, and then with an open mind and
Yeah.
listen.
And I know we're not always good at that. I mean,
No, your
we
mom has
fight-
always been better at apologizing than I have, so that's something she's
hands down.
had to help me with.
Hands
So,
down.
but
Yep.
at the end of the day, you know, you do, apologies are important. And if you're
Yeah.
wrong, you're wrong. And you got to admit that you're wrong, and
Yeah.
you got to say that you're sorry, and you learn from those mistakes.
Right.
And you do it better the next time.
Yeah. Oh, just how proud of them I already am. I'm excited for them. If they do find someone that's, you know, meant to be a part of their life, whether for a short time or a long time, that I love them and that I'm always here. Well, it's going to be expensive no matter what.
Ain't that the truth?
And you're going to lose some sleep. Well, unless you're me, because I slept fine. But I also think I have narcolepsy or something. And it's hard, but I wouldn't change a thing. Definitely teaches you to, or tries to teach you to be less selfish, because we're all selfish. But I think that, you know, certain relationships in our lives can really help keep us grounded and know what's important. You know, keeping people that are in your life already, you know, and not shutting them out, and you know, letting one bad thing come between you. I think sometimes people make decisions too quickly when it comes to having kids and when it comes to getting married. You don't have to do you don't have to do things the way that everyone else does it. And just know that I'm proud of you no matter what.
We've tried to be even keeled as parents with you guys, and you know, when we've told you no, we've tried to have a reason, and that's kind of been our policy. If we're gonna tell you no, you can't do this or that, you know, not just to say no to say no. We've tried to have a reason and talk about it, but as a parent, you are going to have to say no sometimes. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's for your child's good, and they might not understand it at the time, but you know, it's also, as a parent, it's important to play some role in who your kids hang out with. Yeah. And I think it's important. You need, your kids should spend time with other kids whose families have similar values, and that I think who your kids are friends with probably has a bigger effect on you in making good decisions than anything that a parent could ever say. So we've tried to make sure that you spend time with kids who we think are good at staying out of trouble and who are good influences, and I think that that's an important part of parenting too. So those are just some of the things that you'll have to keep in mind when you have kids. Mm-hmm. So. So why did you decide you wanted to do these videos for the kids today?
Well, this video and the songs that we recorded were just for you guys to have something to look back at. I know when my mom was sick that we didn't really have a lot of preparation time to know like how fast she would get sick and things that we just didn't get to talk about or ask. And I think it also affects how you remember something if you don't talk about it. So let's say something does happen, there's some type of event, but you never get a chance to praise that person or tell them what could they do to enhance how good they are at something. And okay, maybe we could look into another program that would be for you on something that you love, but really just for you to know that you are loved, like no matter what. And even though I'm gonna miss you guys tremendously, it's not gonna be that long before we're all reunited in heaven. And I feel very blessed to know that, you guys have already made the decision to follow Christ, and that that's what's the connecting link between the four of us, is that we always will be together. It's just going a little bit earlier. Also, I just want you to remember, other than in photos, I just want you to remember things in different ways. So whether it's just through listening to something, I like that I chose your childhood favorite songs because they're all familiar to both of us, and we can, or all of us, so that we can enjoy those memories even after I'm gone. And just know how strong you are, and that even though I won't be here to help you, there's so many people that are, and there's so many people that want to help, because Daddy can't do everything. He can't be everything and do everything. But it also means that there's a lot of things that you guys can do for yourselves, and we're really gonna push you towards that, because that's how you do become a happy, functioning adult and make wise decisions about friendships that you choose and people that you date, or even who you're going to marry, because family and friends are so important. That's who's going to be here for you when you are sick. Think about all the people that have helped us out in our family and friends, and how much they care about us, care about you guys. Obviously, we know you're passionate about dance, and that you work really, really hard to get better at it, nearly every day. And we're very proud of just how far you've come with learning your dance skills and just your presence on stage, and just how beautiful you look, and just graceful. And but if you don't want to do it one day, and you just tell us you just don't want to do it again, then that's okay too. We do want to help you all, find things that are going to keep you busy and happy and healthy. And when I want people to think of God when they think of you, because of how you treat them, because of how you love them, and just continue to do that in your life. Put Him first, family and friends first, second, and the rest will follow. So we really hope this is a nice keepsake. I cannot believe how you have just blown through all of your requirements, and that's just a huge, I don't want you to realize, I want you to realize that's just a huge accomplishment. And even if Daddy's the one bugging you to do it, sometimes you're the one doing the work, you're the one putting in the time, and truly I really hope that those things and skills that you learn from doing those badges will just make you a better human, a better person, how to help people, because hey, I learned how to do this or that. Obviously that's their big thing, is to focus on caring for people and doing things for people. And I want you to be like that, as you continue to grow. Just looking for opportunities to serve, but also just to be a good friend, and just stay positive. So
We know if you do, you'll get your Eagle Scout, right?
yeah.
You're almost there.
That's right. That's awesome.
Cool.
We love both of you.